Platform engineering, the complete practical guide to building internal developer platforms that scale, TLDR. Platform engineering is what happens when DevOps grows up and you stop relying on hero engineers and lucky deployments. You build an internal product, a platform, that gives developers a paved, predictable way to build, ship, and operate software. Here's what this guide covers. DevOps versus platform engineering, why they're not competitors, and how platform engineering is the natural evolution of mature DevOps. The 5-layer architecture of a real platform, from infra foundation and GitOps control plane to developer experience, observability, and governance. Golden paths, how to give teams a frictionless, opinionated way to create and run services. This is the thing that cuts delivery time by 3 to 7x. The tooling reality, Kubernetes, Terraform, Crossplane, Argo CD, Backstage, Vault, and where they actually fit, no vendor unicorns. Failure patterns, the classic mistakes that quietly kill 90% of internal platforms before they get real adoption. A 90-day practical roadmap, how I'd build your first working platform. One golden path, GitOps everywhere, then a clean developer interface. If your uptime, deploys, and roadmap still depend on a few heroic people, you don't need more scripts. You need a platform. Introduction. The real reason companies turn to platform engineering. I visited a lot of companies over the years. Small teams, giant enterprises, scrappy startups, Fortune 100s. Completely different people, industries, cultures, tech stacks. But the story is always the same. At first, everything moves quickly. A new service takes a day. Deployment is a simple bash script. Everyone knows where config files live, even if nobody knows why they live there. And then the company grows. More teams, more services, more requirements, more complexity. Suddenly, the elegant little system you built in the beginning becomes a maze of scripts, CI pipelines, scattered configs, and tribal knowledge. If your uptime depends on courage, experience, and availability of specific people, you don't have a system. You have hero-driven engineering, and heroism doesn't scale. So companies inevitably arrive at the same conclusion. We need a platform, not as a buzzword, not as hype, but because the way we're working is no longer sustainable. That's what platform engineering is really about. Not building portals for the sake of portals. It's about building a foundation that grows with your organization, not against it. Let me take this apart the way engineers should, calmly, logically, honestly. 1. DevOps versus platform engineering. Why they are not competitors. There's a lot of confusion around this, mostly because people try to compare apples to architecture. Here's the fix. 1. DevOps, the way we work. DevOps is a cultural and operational model. Shared responsibility between dev and ops, continuous improvement, end-to-end ownership, automation as a default way of working, reducing friction between teams, enabling fast, safe delivery. DevOps is about behavior, process, mindset, not specific tools. You can do DevOps with Kubernetes, without Kubernetes, with monoliths, with microservices, in small teams, in giant enterprises. It's a philosophy of work. 2. Platform engineering, the systems we build. Platform engineering is what happens when a DevOps culture grows to the point where you need a dedicated, stable system to support it. It is a team, a product, a set of APIs, templates, workflows, infrastructure abstractions, and operational guardrails. It is the internal platform that developers interact with when they build software. 3. A simple analogy. DevOps, driving principles. Platform engineering, building the highway. You can't scale traffic with good drivers alone. You need working infrastructure. 4. When DevOps matures, you get platform engineering. DevOps isn't being replaced. It evolves. When DevOps becomes big enough, painful enough, and central enough, it naturally leads to one sentence. We should build this as a product. That product is your platform. 2. Why companies hit the wall without a platform. There are 5 signals I see everywhere, and they always mean the same thing. Your infrastructure architecture has reached the limits of tribal knowledge. 1. Deployment drama. If deployments require heroism, coordination, manual approvals, Slack ceremonies, or the presence of a specific engineer, you're not doing continuous delivery, you're staging a theatrical performance. 2. DevOps becomes a human API gateway, and DevOps becomes a bottleneck for everything, from debugging to provisioning. That's not DevOps, that's Ops with extra steps. 3. Snowflake environments. Staging behaves like prod's distant cousin, local dev behaves like neither, CI behaves like a completely different species. This is how outages happen. 4. Cost chaos. Whether it's orphaned resources, forgotten databases, over-provisioned clusters, runaway autoscalers, misconfigured storage, or zombie services, cost without governance grows like mold. 5. Scaling becomes painful. If adding new engineers or new services makes everything slower rather than faster, that's a structural failure. A good system becomes more predictable as it grows. A bad one becomes more fragile. 3. What platform engineering actually is. Forget the vendor diagrams. Forget buzzwords. Here's the simplest, clearest, most useful definition I know. Platform engineering is building an internal product that gives developers the paved, reliable, predictable path to build, ship, operate, and observe software. A platform is boring, consistent, repeatable, documented, self-service, observable, secure, cost-controlled. A platform is not Kubernetes plus CI backstage installed over the weekend, a DevOps team renamed, a dashboard with links to tools, a new department that writes YAML. A platform is everything developers need, wrapped in one coherent experience, and it must feel like a product, not a set of tools. 4. The anatomy of a real platform. 5 layers. I've seen dozens of internal platforms across the world. None of them succeeded without these 5 layers. Layer 1. Infrastructure foundation. The technical bedrock. Kubernetes or ECS Nomad. Load balancing. Ingress. API gateways. VPC. Subnets. Routing. Databases. Caches. Queues. Storage. KMS plus secrets. Terraform or Pulumi for provisioning. Crossplane if you want infra CRDs. This is the engine room. If this layer is unstable, everything built on top collapses. Layer 2. Control plane. The brain. This is where platform engineering becomes real. GitOps, Argo CD, or Flux. Policy engines. OPA, Gatekeeper, Kyverno. Standardized CE, CDA templates. Helm, Customize, Terraform modules. Infrastructure, blueprints. Cloud governance rules. This is the logic that ensures consistency across environments. Layer 3. Developer experience. Layer. Good DX is not nice to have. It's the factor that determines adoption. Includes backstage or port, internal CLI, service creation wizard, automatic observability, pre-configured pipelines, unified configuration model, preview environments, local dev tooling. A great platform makes it easier to follow the paved road than to go around it. Layer 4. Observability layer. Without observability, you're navigating your production with a flashlight and a prayer. Minimum set. Prometheus plus Grafana, Loki or ELK, tracing, Tempo, Jaeger, logging standards, SLO dashboards, synthetic checks, alerting strategy, not alert spam. Observability is not nice monitoring, it is a prerequisite for stability. Layer 5. Governance and security layer. The guardrails that make velocity possible safely includes EM, RBAC, service identities, image scanning, SNIKE, Trivy, secrets rotation, cost visibility, policies on namespaces, quotas, tagging, compliance automation. Governance is not bureaucracy. It's the thing that prevents midnight incidents. 5. The golden path, the heart of a good platform. This is where developers feel the platform. A golden path is a template, a CLI command, a repository structure, pipelines, policies, monitoring, a deployment strategy, all packaged into one frictionless. This is how we build services here. You type and you get scaffolding, Docker file, Helm chart, CI pipeline, SLO dashboards, logs plus metrics, GitOps config, auto-scaling policies, cost tags, secrets wiring out of the box. A good golden path cuts cognitive load by 10x and accelerates delivery by 3 to 7x. This is the moment where engineers say, "This is nice." Golden paths are the soul of the platform. 6. DevOps versus platform engineering. Deep comparison for experts. Most articles get this section wrong, or they oversimplify it. Here it is, crisp. Platform engineering builds the structure. DevOps teaches teams how to use it. One cannot replace the other. 7. The tools. Explained like an engineer, not a vendor. Tools matter, not because they're cool, but because they shape the experience and constraints of your platform. Here are the ones that count. 1. Kubernetes. Use it if you have multiple teams, microservices, auto-scaling needs, service meshes, multi-env consistency, need for runtime abstraction. Don't use it if you deploy 2 Python apps and 1 cron job. You don't have SRE capacity. You can't manage cluster lifecycle. 2 Terraform, 3 Crossplane, 4 GitOps, Argo CD, Flux. The backbone of reliable delivery. 5 Backstage, the best developer portal we have. Use it for service catalog, documentation, golden paths, scorecards, scaffolding, standardization, but don't treat it as a dumping ground, a substitute for platform maturity. Backstage succeeds when your platform already has structure. 6 Vault, external secrets. Use 2 centralized secrets, rotate automatically, eliminate inline credentials, enforce least privilege, secrets must never live. In repos, in CI logs, in Slack, in Terraform states. 8. Common failure patterns. What breaks 90% of internal platforms? This is the part most companies skip. They regret it later. Failure. Number 1. Platform built for DevOps, not developers. If developers don't use it, it's not a platform. Failure. Number 2. Too much complexity too early. You don't start by building a universe. You start by paving one clean road. Failure. Number 3. Platform. Backstage. A portal without strong foundations is a catalog of pain. Failure. Number 4. Platform team behaves like ops. If the platform team approves deployments, that's not a platform. Failure. Number 5. No product thinking. Platforms without user research, documentation, versioning, roadmap, metrics die silently. Failure. Number 6. No golden path. You can scale many ways to do the same thing. Failure. Number 7. No GitOps, imperative ops doesn't scale. Failure. Number 8. No observability. If you can't see the system, you can't improve the system. 9. If I had to build your platform in 90 days, Valdemar edition. This section is pure practice, something you can use tomorrow. Phase 1, weeks 1-2. Understand the pain. 1. Interview developers. 2. Watch their deploy process. 3. Map where DevOps gets pulled in. 4. Identify repetitive failures. 5. Define the top 3 most painful bottlenecks. This phase is about humility and learning, not architecture. Phase 2, weeks 3-4. Build one great golden path. Internal API. Deliver. Repo scaffold. Docker file. CI. Helm chart. Customize. GitOps manifest. Metrics. Plus logs. OPA policies. Basic cost tags. Reliability budget. Your goal. Service ready in under 10 minutes. Deployable in under 2. Phase 3, weeks 5-6. GitOps everywhere. Argo CD or Flux. Environment repos. No manual kubecle. Clear directory structure. Rollbacks tested. Drift detection enabled. PR-based changes only. This instantly improves reliability. Phase 4, weeks 7-8. Developer interface. Start small. Internal CLI, backstage scaffold, templates visible in UI, documentation automated. A platform without interface is like an airport without signs. Phase 5, weeks 9-12. Expand with care. Add front-end service template, async worker template, cost guardrails, alerting best practices, tracing, secrets management, service scorecards, progressive delivery, Argo rollouts. At this point, you will have a real working platform. Not perfect, but alive, used, and stable. That's the only platform that matters. 10. How to know you actually have a platform. Run new services follow the same structure and environments. Never drift. Deployments are boring. DevOps is no longer a bottleneck in cost. Anomalies are visible immediately. Logs, metrics, traces appear automatically. Teams move faster, not slower. The platform feels invisible, but reliable. And the most important criterion, if your platform team goes on vacation and the company doesn't panic, you did it right. 11. Final thoughts. Platform engineering is what happens when engineering matures. The best platforms are not the biggest ones, not the most complex ones, not the ones with the most tools. The best platforms are the ones that reduce friction, reduce cognitive load, reduce variance, reduce complexity, reduce heroism, reduce fear. A good platform makes teams faster, makes systems safer, makes architecture cleaner, makes work calmer, makes engineers happier. It does not aim to impress, it aims to serve. So platform engineering is not a trend. 0. It's not hype, it's simply the natural evolution of software engineering in a world where complexity grows faster than teams. And like any good engineering discipline, its goal is beautifully simple: build systems that remain predictable even as everything around them changes. If your platform is doing that, you're on the right path. The golden one.